Welcome to A Case for the Mondays. It is a Monday. We will be stating our case on a number of things. We did have to ban Will Smith from our show. I am Adam Marino, and joining me, hailing from Mr. Didier's Spanish class, is Caleb Westra.
That I failed.
What is going on, Caleb?
Nothing much, man. Good to be recording. Crazy events today. I mean, really, a case of the Mondays in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, so we're coming to you from the studios downtown Fort Wayne, WELT 95.7, and we were just about to hit the record button, and the fire trucks had to come, and we still don't know. We still don't even know exactly what happened.
Yeah, we do. I talked to a security guard.
Oh.
So they have a electronic soap dispenser in the bathroom, and it must have been like a shorted circuit. Fire detective said it wasn't intentional, so it had to be like just a freak accident.
That is crazy.
I don't know what exactly caused that, other than just old wiring. Maybe, I don't know. Bathrooms look pretty modern and
goofy.
new. That's why it's weird.
Goofy. So, all right. First things first is, was this Will Smith thing, like, what is the deal? Was it staged? Was it, like, did they do something where they thought there'd be an altercation, but he didn't know it would get that bad? What is going on here?
Yeah, so, like, that's what I first thought, like, maybe, like, it was staged, but then it went too far. Like, they're actors, and they played it off too well, and then it was just, like, crazy. Then when he was like, leave my wife's name out your bleeping mouth. Your freaking mouth. You freaky deaky.
Now at this point, you're like, well, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Then he had to go accept an award.
Yeah, where he apologized. And he apologized to Venus and Serena Williams. Not everybody that helped him out on the movie. And the people that the movies are about.
And he apologized to everyone
but Chris Rock.
Like, dude, really? You're like, I apologize to the Academy. Hopefully they'll have me back. Like,
dude,
oh, okay, dude.
He better hope that Chris Rock's cousin, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, doesn't. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yeah, that was goofy.
Next, Will Smith and Chris Rock are the next WWE superstar match.
And the thing is we all know about the entanglement with August Alsina. Is that
yes?
Is that?
That's right. Entanglement. I was trying to think of the word all day.
Yeah.
And
so
you brought it to light.
He was 22. Jada was in her late 40s, early 50s, whatever. And
cougar.
And he went cougar hunting for a week and succeeded. And then it was over with. And then she told the world, along with telling him,
like, hey, if you love me, you would have known. No, get out of here, dude.
It was a Ross and Rachel situation. We
were on our break.
Exactly. So I don't know exactly if it was still stemming from being upset about that, and then she has that issue. Her hair doesn't grow back. What's it called? Because no one can say it right, or no one's sure if they're saying it right.
Alpina? Is that what it? No. What is it? I don't know.
So, well, obviously you don't know.
Bald-headed syndrome.
Girl, you bald-headed. So, it's like Appalachia. There's a
Alopecia.
Yeah.
What did I say?
We'll have to go back to the tape.
I don't even remember.
Said something with like
Alpina.
Yeah.
Alpina. Was it that dude's?
Were you subpoenaed?
Was it that the dude's name?
I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares?
So basically, what happened was in 2018 she came out and said that, and that she's been struggling with her hair falling out. Like she's terrified of what's happening in the shower. Her hair's falling out in the shower.
Bosley must not have worked.
And yeah, and so she's not a fan of what's happening to her. And then you see her face is not having it.
Oh,
but
no.
Will is laughing.
Yeah.
When Chris Rock tells the joke about G.I. Jane, which what's the other thing there?
So G.I. Jane, the lady who plays G.I. Jane in real life cheated on her husband,
Demi Moore.
With Ashton Kutcher. So it's kind of a deeper joke.
Right, and people are saying, well,
but do you think Will got it right away?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like, does Will, like, wake up and be like, we're going tonight to this event, and I'm worried about what people are going to say? Like, every time he goes to something like this, it was the Oscars, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think he's like, we're going to Oscars, what are people going to say?
Yeah, I mean...
I got into one little fight. My wife got scared.
You can't beat up people because they say your wife has no hair.
No hair.
Yeah, so...
Oh, my gosh.
Basically, it's so fresh, Prince
so
of Bel-Air. No, it's that it just so happened. It just happened recently, so it's like...
I didn't even know what to think. I had to watch it like 5 times just to see.
We're still shell-shocked, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, we'll wait and see. I haven't heard a thing from Chris Rock.
So does this start out like Will Smith's new like album, like his comeback album where he has a diss track to Chris Rock now?
Well...
Like maybe that was setting that up.
Now he has street cred, although training for Ali, you'd think he'd be able to punch better. If you notice...
But he open hand smacked just like Juwan.
I know, but Chris Rock did not even wipe his face.
Flinch.
You know, in baseball, they're like, "Don't rub it."
Yeah, he was
when you
like,
get hit. He just stood there.
He ate it.
The only thing he did was he did look around at the producers, like "What are we doing?"
Did this just
and then
happen?
He presented the next award for documentary. Like, okay,
we are here for documentaries. I mean, to present the award for documentaries.
So
that's like Steve Harvey.
Pretty crazy. We definitely had to...
Miss Columbia. Oh, I apologize. It wasn't her.
Is that who it was, Columbia?
Yeah, I don't know. She was one of them. And then he had to, like...
Yeah, that was wild. So, we definitely had to at least touch on that.
Yes.
I mean...
case?
When you talk about the opening case, it's usually something in the sports world, and we did want to give a shout-out to... St. Peter's,
yes,
and their head coach. Where's he going?
Shaheen Holloway is going to Seton Hall to play in the Big East. Maybe he's going to give some of these schools a run for their money in the Big East. I mean, you got Nova, Georgetown. Well, Georgetown won 6 games, but let's see. You know, if he can do what he did at St. Peter's, what can he do at a bigger school? And then maybe from there. But why would you leave Seton Hall? If you could build a program at Seton Hall, like, stay.
Right. We'll
like
see.
It's big enough that he can make it a powerhouse. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
crazy how you can win a couple games in March and just it can transform your life.
Oh, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and they like these teams are the teams we remember for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
If I say UMBC, you know they're the number.
Oh, VCU. Look,
VCU. Shaka Smart.
Shaka.
He's been at like 4 different teams.
Shaka
like he's
with hair or Shaka without, because it's two different. They're 2 different guys now.
I like no Shaka hair.
Yeah. No Shaka hair or no hair Shaka?
No hair Shaka or no Shaka
or
hair?
Boom Shaka Laka.
Boom Shakalaka.
Yeah, Shaka no hair was definitely cooler.
Yep.
He looks like a chia pet a little bit.
Chia.
So that's fine.
Kind of like Jada Pinkett.
So
too soon?
Well, it hasn't even been 24 hours. So let's move on to our case maker. And the thing about case maker that I at least feel good about is we never will pick really homer picks, because we really don't like the same teams really too much at all.
No,
right?
but we could come to an agreement on
for
like
sure.
talent and everything.
So one thing that we can say is that Duke, you know, Coach K, we respect Coach K, and we're not Duke fans, but we can say that Mark Williams and Paolo Banchero, those dudes have elevated their games. So you look at Mark Williams, his average for the season is 11-7.
Mm-hmm.
And for the tournament, it was so far for the NCAA tournament, it was 14.5 and 9. And then case maker is for the week. So the week he averaged 14 and 10. So increase
increase.
And that's all he's doing is increasing.
And Duke looks red hot as they match up. Did you know this is the first time that Duke and North Carolina have ever played each other in the tournament?
That's bonkers.
And we got Coach K's last year. Roy Williams retired last year.
It's crazy.
This stuff is getting wild.
It's definitely like a movie. And then we have Paolo Banchero. He averages 17 and 8. And then for the tournament, he's averaging 18 and a half and 7. And then the week he had 38 points in the week. So that's an average of 19 and grabbing 6 boards a game. So he's elevating his game, and those two are really taking over games, and it's going to be tough for North Carolina, which will go into case locks here. That's a perfect segue because if we look at the week for, let's see, the tournament, we have the score is for our pie in the face challenge.
Yikes.
Yeah. You have 37 points when you add up everything, which you had 33 last week. Now, points are doubled, so that means you get 4 points for every correct game. You only had 1, and that was Duke. So you only had Duke you jumped from 33 to 37. Now, I had 42 going into that round, and now I have 60. So I had my final 4, I had Duke, Nova, Kansas, and my homer pick was UCLA. But there's no way I would have picked St. Peter's or North Carolina because St. Peter's is a 15 seed, as everyone knows. Carolina's an 8 seed. No way I'm picking even an 8 seed to go to the Final Four. So no, I feel like not too many people had UNC unless they're Tar Heel fans.
Yeah.
And we don't care about them because they don't need to exist. We don't care. So I had Duke, Nova, and Kansas. So I had 75% of the Final Four, which means I absolutely, hands down, have won the challenge. So we will be figuring out a pie to your big fat face.
When I get back from the Bahamas?
Yep, he's going on a cruise. So not a Chevy cruise.
Not a Chevy.
So
not a Tom Cruise either.
Then also, if we get into our locks from last week, I picked St. Peter's needed to lose
12.5.
Yeah, 12.5, and obviously they won, so I covered.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that works, boys and girls. So I won that one. And Caleb had Michigan and Nova. Michigan needed the 4.5, and they ended up losing 63 to 55. Yep. So they did not cover. But then you had big blowout was Miami versus Iowa State. They won 70 to 56.
And the lock was -2.5.
2.5. They only needed to win by 2.5. They won 70 to 56. So you covered there. So last week and this week, our running total, we are 3-3.
Not bad for 2 weeks.
So, yep, a 2 week
we're
span.
We're starting this out, and, we're going to lock it in a little bit more.
Yep, so we have three wins, 3 losses for us. And then what we're going to do is Caleb's going to give his lock, I'll give my lock, and then we'll give a parlay that we've both discussed. So why don't you give your pick first?
Okay, so this was tough because we talked about how if we're going to have one pick each.
Right.
So you guys don't get confused because last week I did 2 picks and then told you guys to parlay it with Adams, but mine wasn't like a parlay pick. They were individual picks.
Right.
So Duke, North Carolina. I like Duke because they're red hot right now. But in the last 4 games, the Tar Heels are 4-0 against the spread. So what do you do in betting if you can't pick either team but you want to bet on the game?
Yeah.
You take the over with 151 points. So that's what I'm taking is the over 151.
Okay. So Duke, Carolina, over
151 points.
151 points. All right. So and we don't discuss our picks before. We do discuss what the parlay is going to be.
Yes.
So we have the parlay. So I was going to take Duke at -4. I think they're going to win
Then do
by
it.
at least 4. However, I had Nova in the championship
Yes.
game losing to Duke. So in going with that, I'm going to actually take Nova money line.
Okay.
So
Over Kansas.
yep.
I like that. I don't think Kansas has been tested. They talked about it early. Kansas is kind of the easiest road, probably have all the 1 seeds.
Yep.
And now we're here.
So
Nova looks really good as a 2 seed.
So 151 over for the points for Duke Carolina, and then money line Nova to win against Kansas.
Yes.
And then here is our parlay pick. So you can lock this in. These are all on the money line. So these are NBA picks.
Yep.
So we have the Bucks and Sixers. We like the Sixers on Tuesday the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the Lakers and Mavs. The Mavs at home, we like the Mavs. And then also on Tuesday the 29th, we have the Pistons at the Nets.
And Kyrie's playing.
Yep. And
home game.
Yep. So the Nets,
We
we
beat
like
COVID.
them. Yep, we beat COVID. And then Wednesday the 30th, the Nuggets travel to the Pacers, but we like the Nuggets there.
I mean, Nuggets are 6 in the West, and Pacers are 13th in the East, which
The Pacers are just terrible.
they're terrible.
It's
Terrible.
And Nuggets have Joker. So
Yeah.
And then on Thursday the 31st, the Lakers are. I mean, we have them twice in this parlay losing.
Well, and LeBron's hurt. We don't know about his status.
So
Tweaked ankle.
Lakers at Jazz for Thursday the 31st. So we have this week we have the Sixers, Mavs, Nets, Nuggets, and Jazz all winning.
Can we throw in Russell Westbrook to hit the side of the backboard twice?
No, but
in 2 weeks.
Here's what he needs to do. He also needs to elongate his shot where his hand stays up in the air for like an extra minute, like thinking he's made it.
Yeah.
And then the ball hits the
Swaggy
backboard.
P turn around.
Yeah. Like, dude, Westbrook, you can't be doing that. Like, you, it's one thing if you shot it like Steph or Clay, but
But what happened to him, dude?
you can't shoot it like Frank Prakowski.
Like in 3 teams in a year and a half, and now he's horrible. Like, what happened? Like, that's another day we can talk about. But it's sad. Like, because I used to like him.
And that's why we're picking the Lakers to lose twice this week as a lock.
Yep.
So that is our case locks for the week. Again, we are 3-3. So let's see how we do next week. Moving to this is a fun one. So best case scenario, we talked about different things so far, food and music and hanging out, karaoke, different fun things like that. But now we're going to slow it down a little bit. So you have a lady friend over to the house and you want to just have a good time and watch a rom-com, right? So
Yes.
Romantic comedy. What is your best case scenario for hanging with the lady and you ask her one of these 5 movies?
We going 5-1?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Do we want to say at the same time, or are we just
So
different?
no, you go this time.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna have to put Hitch.
Yeah.
Hitch definitely is at number 5.
Well, Will Smith's obviously in your brain.
Yeah. Must be Will on the brain that's got me
But
feeling this way.
Hitch is legit though.
Just-
It is
dude, you just
it
gotta
is
keep
funny.
it right here. just right here. That's how I learned my moves at the clubs. Hey, especially if Bruno Mars is on. Smoking out the window.
So all right, we got Hitch. What's coming in at number 4?
Number 4, I have The Princess Bride.
Oh man.
Do you remember that movie?
As you wish. Yeah.
My name is
Wesley.
Tomika Makadatoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I'm pretty sure you didn't say that right, but that is correct.
We gotta fact check that. Fact check.
Mandy Patinkin, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a solid one.
And
All right.
Andre the Giant's in that too.
Right,
so,
right,
like,
right.
You can't.
Yeah. Anybody want a peanut? Stop rhyming, and I mean it.
I mean it. Let's play a game of wits.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
We could just quote that. That is a great movie. All right, number 3.
I want to marry you. Why do you want to marry me? So I can kiss you anytime I want.
Sweet,
Sweet Home Alabama.
Okay.
So, and then number 2 is one of those movies that is probably this, like, the talent level in this movie is tremendously good.
Okay.
But it's so underrated. Just Go With It.
Okay.
With Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, Nick Swartzen, bunch of people in it.
Yeah.
My favorite part is when Nick Swartzen's looking down. Who's the? Is it Heidi Klum? There's a model in it.
Oh, right.
And they're kayaking, and her butt crack's showing, and I think Jennifer Aniston hits Nick Swartzen on the head because he's behind her paddling, like looking at her butt crack, and then he's like, "What? I was just looking down the canyon." Like, it's just stupid stuff like that like makes a movie, and I mean, you can't go wrong with Adam Sandler.
All right, and number 1.
When We First Met. So it is a Netflix show, or movie, I should say. Adam Devine, Alexandra Daddario, which she's probably my, like, celebrity crush. Like, definitely Alexandra Daddario. Hot tea, hot. One hot pizza. So
that Veronica Vaughn.
That Alexandra Daddario.
I actually haven't seen that one.
Well, now you got to write that down. It might be your number 1. So basically,
write that down.
Write that down. It is about, and I won't go into it too much, but it is basically about a movie where, they take a picture in this booth and they flip. Like, he starts falling in love with the other one, like the best friend.
Oh, okay.
Like, he's supposed to marry her best friend, but he realizes he doesn't love her anymore. You just have to watch it.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and like you're like, whoa. Like, it's funny, and then you like start thinking about like life. Like, it's weird. It's one of those movies you're like, what? Like, I want that. So that's mine. Go ahead with yours.
All right.
Number 5.
I will say at number 5, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh.
Jason Segel, Mila Kunis.
What's that song?
Kristen Bell.
What's the song he sings?
Jonah Hill's in it.
Something you suck. Peter, you suck.
Yeah.
Peter, you suck.
And the end of that where he writes a play for like a Dracula.
Yeah.
Like that is just, it's pretty clever. Whoever wrote that, like
Aldous Snow, and like what was that? Get him to the Greek.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then they put him in. And that
Russell
is
Brand.
Russell Brand.
Yeah, he's pretty solid in that. And then Just Friends. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it was a good movie.
So Amy Smart is the girl, and
is that Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah,
and he's fat.
That's what's funny. He's like, he plays like, it's almost like he plays a Schmidt character from New Girl.
Schmidt,
where he's fat and then he gets skinny and like good looking. And he's always been friends with this girl.
Yeah.
And then
Schmidt might be the most underrated character of all time. Like that whole show. That's enough. We could talk about top 5. We'll do that sometime.
For sure.
Top 5 New Girl.
Like, or how about we should do top 5 characters from a sitcom. That should be next week. Yeah.
That's next. Well, let's do it in 2 weeks.
Well, right.
Unless somehow I find a way to.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later.
We'll figure it out. All right. So then the breakup with Jen Aniston and Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
And it's like a little bit cringy, like, because the one scene I think about is when he comes home to play PlayStation and she's like annoyed and he's like, "What is wrong? What do you want?" And she's like, "I want you to do the dishes." And he's like, "Brooke, why would I want to do the dishes?" Like, and that's so real. Like, women want the guy to help on his own accord, but why would we want to do those things when there's, NBA Jam that we can be playing? Is it the shoes? So
from downtown, he's on fire. The library's on fire.
The library was
downtown.
On fire.
It is on fire.
Oh man.
Oh man.
So
all right.
Yeah, basically, that movie was almost like cringe, but it's also funny as well. And then, Knocked Up
Knocked Up is pretty good.
Katherine Heigl,
Seth Rogen.
Like
that's probably his cleanest movie.
Right.
Like vulgarity wise, like, and he's still pretty bad in that movie.
Yeah, he's still pretty bad. But that, I mean, it just makes you laugh. And then my all-time favorite is Fever Pitch with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon, and that is how I feel about the San Francisco Giants. It's about the Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
And here's a cool story regarding that movie. They wrote that with the assumption that Boston was going to lose at the end of the season because they literally have done that for 100 years.
Yes.
So it's pretty normal to write that into the script.
To the Yankees.
Yeah, and what happens when they shoot the freaking movie?
Kirk Schilling's bloody sock.
They win the World Series.
They came back.
It's literally like a movie. Get it? So they had to change the ending of the movie, and which worked perfectly.
And it made the movie better.
And it really did.
But like that movie like reminded me of like what I'd be like if I'm still single in 5 years and have season tickets to like Michigan or something like that.
Right.
Like, now, like you're either gonna love me and you're gonna be a Michigan fan, or we're not gonna work out.
And here's what I like about that.
Just kidding, ladies.
Well, maybe.
5 years is a long time.
So
get me before the season tickets.
So what I like about the movie is the turning point is he's coaching the kids Little League, and they're like, "Why'd you break up with her?" And like he's like, "Don't worry about the kids, whatever." And he's like, Mr. Whatever his name is, you've poured your life and soul into the Red Sox and you've given everything to them. But what have they ever done for you?
Boom.
And then he's like, "Oh man, I messed up. I have a hot girl like Drew Barrymore." He goes back to her, tries to make it work, and at the end, he gets the girl, and the Red Sox win.
And he keeps his tickets. Remember, he was going to sign his tickets away.
Right, and she wouldn't let him.
Yes.
Because she's the best girlfriend
ever.
I
love you, Ben.
Yeah.
And then she's on the thing. She, like, broke her whole body. She jumped. She, like, hung drop. Like, if, like, we went to Safety Village when we were kids. I don't know if you did because you're old, but.
Yes, I remember.
But, like, they're, like, telling you to, like, hang and drop out the window if there's a fire. And I did it. And, like, the kids didn't know that there was, like, 5 feet down, there was like a ladder or like something. So like I hung and drop on the thing, and they're like, but that's what she actually did that though. And like, and then she's like, and then she gets up and starts like running. She's like, no, don't sell the tickets.
Yeah, her body's all broken. But that's pretty classic. So that's got to be number one for me. So our next one, we already have it down. That'll be fun. Top 5 characters from sitcoms the next time we're together, whenever that is. Hopefully next week, maybe in 2 weeks, we'll figure it out. So
mine might come from 2 shows, like literally 2 shows. That's all I need.
So we were talking baseball a little bit, and that was a good segue because we are going to state our case for why baseball is actually the most boring sport out of the major. We're not counting underwater basket weaving. We're not counting cricket.
Yeah.
We're not counting chess. We're counting like the major sports. Why has baseball become? It was the national pastime. Now it's just past tense. It's like people don't.
Now it's past its time.
Right.
Like literally, and we love baseball. We are baseball fanatics.
Yep.
But we're just stating facts of why right now baseball is what it is.
And so I think one of the factors is time frame. So we were watching these college basketball games and like in and out in 2 hours almost. I mean, it's crazy.
Sometimes quicker depending on like the flow of the game.
So that's one thing, and they try and make these BS rules of, well, the pitching count. There's like a 10-second, like, yeah, right. And they don't really even, if you go over 10 seconds, there's nothing that happens.
No penalty.
There's nothing, so it doesn't really, really matter. Yeah. And the replays take us, the fans watching, I've timed it, 8.7 seconds is how long it takes us at home to figure out what the right call is.
Yeah.
Average time is over 2 minutes.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing?
I mean, we have faster replay in the NFL.
It's
And I know more about baseball probably than any other sport just because they fill it with random facts from like way back in the day because they have nothing else to talk about during those in between. Like they literally have a lot of filler and it's all like sports history.
It's just baseball is, and here's a key thing I think that my dad has said of why he still watches baseball and doesn't get into the other sports as much. Now he's diehard 49er fan like me, and we watch all the games pretty much together. But the thing that he says about baseball is it's the same as it was when he was a kid.
Is it though?
And you think about it. Now let's look at this. Look at who the tight ends were in his day. Ditka, these big guys who there's no way they would be a tight end now. They're too slow. And they're not athletic enough.
Rumbling, fumbling,
but
stumbling.
Look at, Vernon Davis, Shannon Sharp, guys like that. Like, good Lord, the game has changed immensely. Oh, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And think of the freak of athlete. There were Ray Nitschke. Those guys weren't freak athletes.
No, they were guys with beer bellies.
Yeah, so.
And that's why they were BA because they had beer bellies and could throw football.
How about the NBA? George Mikan, guys like Bob Cousy was phenomenal.
Pistol Pete Maravich.
But Bob Cousy could not touch Kyrie Irving.
No.
And I'm not a Kyrie fan.
No.
But come on. Like, the things what Kevin Durant can do at 7 feet tall. There was a clip of Kevin Durant standing next to Boogie Cousins, and Kevin Durant is 2 inches taller.
That's crazy.
Doing what he can do.
Yeah.
There's no guy that can do that when my dad was growing up watching the game. But baseball is the same pretty much. Yep. You still have to be able to hit the curveball. So you can have a guy who's super freaky athletic, maybe like Mike Trout, but if he can't hit a curveball, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like I think in a way it's changed too because we're getting to just like home runs or strikeouts.
Now,
like it's not as
and
like
that's fair.
It's not like I think if it's going to be a long game, then you want the methodical chess. So I was talking to my stepdad about this. Former baseball coach, fanatic, like probably knows more about baseball than Pete Rose. Just saying. And he said, the thing is, like, it's an intellectual game. And I agree. It's one of the most intellectual games. And maybe that's why it's not as popular. Because you wouldn't sit here and be like,
but
I want to watch chess.
You can't have a freak athlete if you can't do the mind game. That's why a freak athlete doesn't mean anything in baseball.
No.
It really doesn't.
No.
At all.
You almost have to, like, train the body after the mind's already there.
So that's why baseball.
I want to know SAT scores and grade point averages of the top players in the league.
And you look at what makes the fans upset too, turnoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So the most expensive pitcher right now, right? Max Scherzer,
former Tiger,
former Dodger. Still 2 different eye colors, which is the wildest thing I've seen.
Yeah.
The dude literally, if you have not seen this, Google a picture of Max Scherzer, and he has 2 different color eyeballs.
You know what's crazy? So my friend, one of my best
friends,
like a wolf, Sage and Zach. Yes. So this is where I'm going. Their dog Scout has the same condition that Max Scherzer had, and so when they first got it, they were trying to name it, and he's a huge Ohio State fan, right? So he wanted to name it Buckeye, and then his girlfriend was like,
works.
Well, yeah. But then his girlfriend's like, yeah, we can call it Bucky. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? That's Bucky Badger, the Wisconsin mascot. So I said, let's name it Max or Scherzer. Scherzer would be a cool dog's name.
Yeah.
But he's a Cleveland Guardians fan, so he didn't want to do that.
I am not saying that word out loud. They're just
the Guardians.
I'll just say
of the Gates of Cleveland.
The Cleveland Baseball Club.
What if it's the Guardians of the Dumpster Fire? It's our dumpster fire. We love it. Just like the Browns.
Now I want to watch Major League. Is that a rom-com?
Well, so that's another thing. It could be a rom-com. That's another thing we talked about. Look at all back in the day. Baseball movies were classics. Field of Dreams, Major League 1, 2, Bull Durham. What's the Show Me the Money?
Well, that's Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
that's football.
Oh yeah. Never mind. Disregard that.
You forgot Mr. 3000.
Mr. 3000.
That was a terrible movie.
Bernie Mac, R.I.P.
That was a terrible movie.
Because he really didn't he hit like 2,997, so he needed 3 more home runs or something like that.
They ruled him errors
50,
later,
yeah.
and so he had to go back and
Or were they hits or home runs?
No, hits.
Hits.
3,000 home runs. You really?
Well,
think
it was a movie. I didn't know if they're just being stupid. Okay, favorite of all time. Angels in the outfield.
Or Little Big League.
Little Big League.
That was good.
Here comes Nacho Butt.
And Henry Rowan Gardner, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year. The Rookie.
Yeah.
Sandlot
2. Just
Sandlot.
kidding.
No, that was like softball.
That was terrible. That was terrible. Terrible.
But yeah, so like
Yeah,
all
they
those
don't
movies,
do-
they don't do that. Like we had Moneyball, and then what was
Yeah,
that?
that
The
was
$1 Million
good.
Arm. Like those are 2 good ones, but they're still decently old. Like compared to
Yeah.
here and now, when's the last time they made a baseball movie? Fever Pitch. Like
well,
I'm just
that was
saying, no, but I'm
2004.
saying like that goes along with like more baseball.
Yeah,
Like
that was almost 20 years ago.
exactly. So like,
Yeah, no, there hasn't been really too many that I can think of. Another good one because he was a San Francisco Giant, The Fan with Wesley
Yeah.
Snipes and Robert De Niro.
Hardball.
That was a crazy one. Oh, with Freddie Prinze Jr.
I love it when you call me Big Pop, but put your hands. Isn't that Hardball? Yeah, I thought that was Hardball.
I think so. I know it's Freddie Prinze.
Yeah, and then there's
Now here was a good one. Trouble with the Curve.
Trouble with the Curve was
with
when
Justin Timberlake
yeah,
and Clint Eastwood. That one was pretty cool. But yeah, they just don't make those type of sports movies. It's not really. I
Have
don't
you
know.
seen
People,
The Perfect Game?
Yeah, with Kevin Costner.
No, like
Isn't that?
there's another one that's like this Little League team out of Mexico that
Oh.
they win the World Series, the Little League World Series. And the dude's like about to throw a perfect game in the Little League World Series on like his left leg, like it's broken on his right or something. Like he in the game, and the kid in the dugout's like, "Angel, you about to throw a perfect," and he covers his mouth because if he says it, then like the kid's gonna know.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I saw the one where Kevin Costner plays for the Tigers.
Yeah, Hardball's the one.
But,
Because remember he had to pitch with his headphones on.
oh right.
And so then
Man, it's
they
been
made him
forever.
in the finals. They make him take it off, and so like he's throwing a bad game and he needs to get back on track. So the coach is like, I thought it was.
Oh,
It's Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is the coach in that.
oh, what's the one with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
I don't know.
Okay,
But that one, like Keanu Reeves is not knowing what to do because he's this lowly coach. So all of a sudden he looks at him and he's like, "I love it when you call me Big Pop."
Just to get his,
And then so the whole infield keeps going through it and through it and through it. So he has that music because he pitches on rhythm.
yeah.
And that's why he needed his
I like bench warmers.
bench warmer.
That is terrible.
Tip tune for the salad girl.
That was terrible.
I feel like that was like me during like rec league basketball or like when we played softball. Like random women would show up and you're like, tip tune for the salad girl.
So yeah, we're a little upset over some of baseball's moneymakers. You make how much money for pitching? What 30
games. So Max Scherzer, we'll go into stats real quick. Top 5 paid pitchers, and then we'll go to top 5 paid players that are not pitchers.
All right, go ahead.
Max Scherzer, $43.3 million, 30 games in
Ka-ching.
2021. Is it Garrett Cole?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say Jarrett all the time. I don't know why. But it's Garrett Cole, 36 mil, 30 games.
Ka-ching.
Jacob deGrom, 36 mil, 15 games.
Ka-ching.
Trevor Bauer, 35.3 mil, 17 games.
Didn't even have to pitch last year.
No. And Steven Strasburg, same for 5 games. Chris Sale, 30 mil for 6 games.
And these guys are injury ridden too.
Because of like that guy named Tommy John that just keeps breaking people's arms. That damn Tommy John.
They're throwing arms out of their sockets.
Yeah, like I can't believe like Pete Rose is banned, but Tommy John's not. Like what the hell? So then you go into guys like Carlos Carrera, highest paid, 35.1. So easily 8 less mil than Max Scherzer. Guess how many games? 148. So you're telling me this dude, if you took away 100 games played,
Right.
he'd still have 18 more games played and make 8 more less million than Max Scherzer. Anthony Rendon, $36.5 million, 58 games. And he played 58 games, so 28 more games than Max Scherzer, and had a hamstring injury that rid him the whole season. Nolan Arenado.
I'll play once every 5 days.
Yeah, I'll play for a Big Mac in a soda.
Diet.
Screw it. Diet soda. Fair. Actually, if it's from McDonald's, I want the straight up Coke. But Nolan Arenado, 35 mil, 157 games. Francisco Lindor, 34.1 mil, 125 games. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's still ridiculous money.
And
like,
then,
if you think about it.
And then they still couldn't agree with the owners.
Yeah, like, we want more money. Like,
I was going to go to a spring training game. I was talking about it with my dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, man, we can't go. And he's like, why? He wasn't following, didn't even know. Like that's so frustrating.
Like, what are they, Mr. Krabs? Like, give me the money. So you can watch us for 9 innings and 10 hours a day.
It doesn't make – you can't be boring and be like with your negotiations. You can't be crappy with your negotiations and have a crappy product.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be both. It just makes the fans upset.
That reminds me of like 21 Jump Street when he's like, you're good looking and you're probably a dummy.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. He said something to – what he says? He said something to Jonah Hill, and he's like, and you're probably good at math. And then, you were in chess club, and you're probably good at math. And he was like, damn, you're really good at math. Shit. Like, he knew.
Yeah. I think it's funny that Ice Cube's a cop.
Yeah.
That NWA didn't hold.
Nope.
Money talks. So, yeah.
Well, going into that, too, so we were talking about that. Then we go into what was our case? Most boring sport in the major pros.
Yeah. Besides underwater basket weaving.
Yes. And even it's crazy to think. So I did some research, and we're just going off of grossing teams, like biggest fan bases of every sport.
Right.
So, and we're not including hockey in this.
No.
But just the 3 majors. So football, basketball, baseball.
Right.
Lakers. Guess how many fans?
9 billion.
Well, when they win chips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But normal Lakers fans that say they're Lakers fans, 21.73 million fans, out of 39.13 million. So they said the NBA has almost 40 million fans. And 75% of those are Laker fans.
That's crazy.
Bandwagons. Then we go into the Cowboys.
Oh, good
8.5 million fans. And they said the NFL has 16 million fans, which shocked me.
Yeah.
But is this after Colin Kaepernick or before?
They all moved on to NASCAR. I tell you what. So at 16, so it goes 39. The NBA is 40 million. Yeah.
NFL is 16 million. The Yankees are at 8.4 million fans.
Jeez.
And I couldn't even find how many, like I've been looking about like how many fans are estimated fans here. I'll even do it right now. Estimated fans in the MLB. They're so embarrassed they won't even play it. Like they won't even
show.
Yeah.
Well, when you win 27.
But I'm just saying.
But they haven't been relevant for.
Okay, Major League drew 45.3 million. So that's this year, and it's down from 68.5. So it dropped over 20 million fans.
Yeah.
Rapidly.
And attendance too. Now, I will say baseball has their packages, you can watch them easier than what you could even 20 years ago.
Yes.
But still,
T-Mobile free, MLB Network.
Right, all that stuff. You can watch a game rather than go to it. Although blackouts,
Yes,
but
if it's in your local area, you cannot watch it unless you have the local network.
You can't charge all this money, have the game go almost 4 hours and take 20 minutes to see if the batter was out or not when you could see on the screen
speed it up there,
that he was safe. Like,
yeah.
So you just can't do that. And baseball, I'm still excited for the season. I mean, my Giants literally won more games than any other team in the entire league.
And still lost.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I'm excited, but it's just like.
See, I'm such a big fan of baseball, I can't pick a team. I got about 3.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say them now so you guys can hate me all that you want.
That's a shame.
Grew up in Michigan, so I'm a Tigers fan, but my first game was in Wrigley Field, Ernie Banks' retirement day. Mom's a Cubs fan. She's from Wisconsin. Root for both AL and NL. My college roommate, Ben Scheckler, got drafted out of Cornerstone University, small NAIA school, to the Padres. Played in Fort Wayne, Tin Caps, 2 years. And I met Tatis through him. Tatis is my favorite player right now in the MLB, and he plays for the Padres. Plus, my best friend and her parents are Padres fans, so I'm jumping on the bandwagon. But I just love baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I can watch Padres. I like betting on baseball. So, like,
all you have to do, is look at who's pitching.
Yes, definitely. I mean, if you don't know anything about anything, look at the pitching. Go look at the records. Guarantee you if Scherzer, Cole, and DeGrom, and Bauer, and Sales, and Strasburg, if they're all pitching, it's probably a win.
Yeah, those guys, don't bet against them.
And look at streaks, too.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that's, I mean, I was just saying that you like your
yeah, I mean,
your Giants.
I've always
Bay
liked
Area.
all the teams from the Bay Area, and like I said, I'm excited to see what happens this year. There's a lot of good storylines. Albert Pujols is back with the Cardinals, so to see that's kind of cool. Like,
Yep.
I really don't care about the Cardinals, and they don't care about me, so it's fair. But it is cool to see Pujols back. I'd like to see him just hit at least one more home run in that stadium.
Cardinal, yeah. Is it Busch Stadium still?
I don't even know what the stadium's called.
It used to be Busch Stadium.
Nowadays,
now we got the fact checker on here.
So I am going to a Giants Cardinals game in later in May, a couple games, so that should be fun. I've never been to that stadium there. I'm pretty sure it's still called Busch Stadium.
State Farm.
Is it State Farm?
Has notable record in brief history during No, that was the Arizona Cardinals. I said St. Louis. I don't know what. Google, you're broke. Go home. You're drunk.
It didn't get fumigated from the fire.
Busch.
It is
Busch Light.
Yeah.
Busch Latte Stadium.
You still have to call that Busch. Yeah, Stadium. So that's going to do it for this week of A Case for the Mondays. So we will figure out how we will be back. I may be back just with a guest. Then for sure back in 2 weeks with Caleb back in the studio. So for now, we will say sayonara.
Adios.